Well, I think we'll get going. I'll say hello to everybody. Good morning and good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to today's webinar. Today it's From Blind Spots to Action, how Siemens Healthineers operationalizes CTEM for exposure management. Very glad that everyone could join us. Thank you for joining us. My name's Nadine O'Brien. I'm the Senior Director of Customer Success at CyCognito. And I'm delighted today to be joined by Filip Machala from Siemens Healthineers. Filip's here today to talk to us about how Siemens Healthineers has built and operationalized their CTEM program in a large, highly distributed environment. CyCognito is part of that journey, but today's story is very much Siemens Healthineers' experience, how they've approached CTEM, how they adapted it to fit their organization, and what they've learned from it along the way. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping first, just for a moment before I hand over to Filip, just to let you know, the webinar is obviously being recorded. We'll share the on-demand link afterwards so you can revisit the session, share it with your team, and we'll have some time at the end to respond to some questions and explore some of the themes that tend to come up most often when we talk to our customers about CTEM. So with that, Filip, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing everything with us today, and I'll hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Nadine. I would like to introduce myself. I'm Filip Machala. I'm from Siemens Healthineers. I'm part of the cybersecurity blue team, and one of our main responsibility is attack surface management. And today I would like to tell you something about how we do it, how we implemented CTEM within our organization, and how we are using it, what are the benefits that we see, and what was our journey. So let's deep dive to the presentation. First, we needed to start somehow, and what was our motivation? Why we even started this journey? We wanted to gain clear visibility into our true external attack surface. You have multiple domains, FQDN certificates, you see multiple IP ranges belonging to your organization, but you don't really know like how they're connected, what you should do with them, what's their status, and what's their security posture. So to do so, we needed to centrally monitor a very large distributed environment with over 1,100 IP addresses, 10,000 websites, and this is a challenge to do, and this was the starting point. At that point, we already had some. We used external companies to monitor our security scores, but we wanted to move beyond just like the score that tells you, okay, you are in the A category. We wanted to focus on the real risk and the real issues exploited in campaigns that we are facing. To do so, we needed to transform these thousands of unrelated assets into a business inventory, which is aligned, complete, structured, and always updated. So we can, in any time in the time, we can always know what's the current situation. Another goal, we wanted to evolve just from constantly firefighting and solving the issues that come up to proactively choose and decide where we want to focus, what we want to improve, and what should give us the real value. And with all this, we should turn the external chaos into clarity and control. And that was our main goal. So first, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, and we just looked around what's currently already used in the market and in cybersecurity for monitoring, and we came up to continuous threat exposure management framework. I won't deep dive to the framework details if that I will leave for you, but I will just briefly describe what's the main idea and what it does. The main idea is that it delivers a proactive approach to managing the external attack surface. It has 5 steps. It's starting with scoping, where we defined what we want to protect and what we want to analyze. Then it's discovery, where we discover and assess. So we also find any misconfiguration issues on the assets that are in the initial scope that we defined. Then it's a prioritization phase where we should align what has the biggest value for us, where we want to focus, what's the next step we want to take. And with that, we are going to action phase, as you see on the diagram, which is validation, where we validate, okay, this is really exploitable, what's the business value, and if what's the real risk behind. And the last step is mobilization, which is actually doing. So here we are bringing the improvement. We are fixing the issues and improving the security posture. With all this, CTEM is making threat exposure visible, measurable, and actionable. But as this is just a framework, and we needed to tailor it to our specific environment, which is specific. Siemens Healthineers has a very distributed and it consists of multiple businesses. So it's not very straightforward to just map it. And this is what we ended up with. And as a first step, we are having inventory, where we discover everything that we own and is exposed to the internet. In the next assessment phase, we assess the inventory to discover any misconfigurations, issues, anything that we don't like and we want to improve. As the next step is prioritization. Now we have a huge list of the things we want to improve, but of course, we are limited with our time. We need to agree on what we are, what's the biggest priority for us, where we are going to focus. In the mobilization, we are reporting these issues to the owners. We need to bring the issue to the correct people, because not the security team itself, it's not fixing everything. We need to let the people know that, okay, you should do something in a very structured manner. In the remediation phase, here it's where the issues are being fixed. So here the application owners fix the reported issues. And then we are moving to improvement phase, where we have guided improvement plans that drive continuous security advancement. So that's something that we also discuss in the details as every step. And now let me jump to the step one. That would be inventory. Inventory for us, it's like key pillar that we need to build on our whole process. First, we need to build the holistic inventory that would give us all the details that we need. For that purpose, we use multiple things. First is CyCognito as a continuously discovering our external assets that covers our shadow IT, anything that we don't know. And of course, we want to. But we don't rely just on the CyCognito. We also ingest our internal information, in sense that we are ingesting domains, IP ranges, FQDNs, cloud assets, DNS zones to CyCognito inventory as a one tool that with all this information, it improves the discovery process. And our goal is very clear. We want to outpace the attacker reconnaissance. We want to discover it before attacker does. If we own it, we want to know that we do. All this results in a holistic and current version of external attack surface. And the current is very important here because all the processes mentioned needs to be automatic. Our external attack surface changes every day, and all the processes behind needs to be automatic to reflect this change. They should be fast and updated daily. As you can see, for example, cloud assets, that's a very, very dynamic thing. And we want to always know what we own, what is exposed. So this is the first step. And now, as we have the inventory, we can use it. And how we use it in assessment phase. Here we are using, we call them light and advanced scans for comprehensive asset evaluation. That's to use like different levels, where light scans just identify live assets, open ports, services, technologies with non-intrusive methods. These scans are faster, they can cover all the inventory much faster, and we have all the time the updated information. Where advanced scans utilize comprehensive techniques for directly verified vulnerability assessment, we use advanced payloads to really test the issues to know, okay, what's there and what's the severity. Here we are using CyCognito's native testing platform and capabilities, and also our internal developed tests to comprehend it. As a result, as you can see on the picture, you have the issue and you have the severity, exploitation, complexity, remediation effort, and confidence, which are all the important details that are input for the next step, and that's prioritization. So once we have all the assessment done and we know all the issues, misconfigurations, and everything we want to solve, we are taking this information and we are prioritizing. We are using severity, probability, and attractiveness to define what is the most valuable thing for us to focus on. Once this is done, we are going for the next step, and that's mobilization. That's now we are going to report all the issues to the owners. Here, the important step is that we are using automated ticket creation in ServiceNow. Otherwise, it would be impossible to bring the improvement in such a large scale that's impossible to do manually. So here, as you can see on the diagram, we have CyCognito and the custom scans going to the custom integration, which creates the tickets in ServiceNow VR. Once the tickets are created, they are routed using CMDB data to the right asset owners. That's the end of the mobilization phase. And now the asset owners needs to fix all the issues they are having. Once they do it, they report in the tool, and we don't just confirm that, like, okay, you fix it, we trust you. We always validate. And after that, we close the issue and mark this really resolved. We always validate that, okay, this is really, really fixed. This structured ticket lifecycle ensures accountability and transparency for everyone. We always know in which step we are, what's happening. Going to the next step, and that would be continuous improvement plans. With the last step, we ended like a reactive phase where we always just react to the issues that we are seeing. Here, with the improvement plans, we are moving to proactive mode. All the issues that we seen in the previous steps are input for the improvement plans. All the issues are evaluated, and the goal is to identify root causes of the issues to prevent reoccurrence. With the understanding the problem, here we are always focusing just on the process. So the root cause of the issue can be that the process is not existing, that the process is not being followed, or that the process is just not working correctly and it's not covering this thing. Once we really understand, okay, what we need to do, we create actions and we trigger them. These actions are usually very different from the previous that I described, that application owners should just fix something. Here we are talking usually about changing some process, something in the organization, how we are doing things. And with this, we bring the security improvement. And we emphasize, of course, on the avoiding of the repetitive fixes, and we want to enforce security by default. So if you follow this process, it will be secure. And this process completes the CTEM implementation cycle for the external perimeter at Siemens Healthineers. I would like to thank you for your attention. If you want to know more, feel free to ping me. This is my working email. And thank you very much.
Lovely. Thanks, Filip. That was a really fantastic walkthrough. Thank you for that. Well, I've got a few questions to ask you, as you know, and where these come from these are questions that we often get from teams that we're working with who are a bit earlier on in their CTEM journey than you guys are at Siemens Healthineers. So for the first sort of area, thinking of day-to-day behavioural changes, before CTEM, security was often it's very reactive by default. For your team, what changed when you adopted CTEM in terms of how people made decisions day to day?
That's very the change was very easy to see as just always reactive. You first don't have really time to do anything else if you are always just reacting, and also it's very hard to make a decision. So it's much easier now to decide what we want to do. We see some new input from, for example, from threat intelligence team. There is some new campaign. We can easily get the data where we are now, and we can decide what we want to do with it. Before, it was much harder to know what's the right decision now, what we want to do. So it's much more clear what action we want to take. It's from the decision point, from the decision making point, it's just much easier, and it really reduces the stress and streamline the whole operation of the team.
Okay, well, reducing stress sounds fantastic, so that's great. Okay, so thinking about it from the attacker's point of view, when you started looking at your organization from an attacker's point of view, what was it that surprised you the most about your external attack surface that maybe you hadn't seen previously with just internal tools? Was there something that stood out?
First thing was probably the complexity and the size. As before, like having everything in CyCognito, there are multiple tools. You like know that you have many things, but having this whole organization like structured, and you have all the correlation, it's much easier to actually understand the whole attack surface. So that's first thing, and then second one is of course the like what's the current security posture. Again, before you had like some ideas. Now you really have the data, and it can be in a good sense or a little bit worse sometimes, but you know where you are.
And then you can work from there. Exactly. Okay, great,
Exactly. So
brilliant.
you can be happy with what
Yeah,
you're seeing, or sometimes not so happy, but you just know what's the situation.
yeah. You know where you are, and then you can kind of build from there. Okay, that's great. So, um, we get asked a lot about validation and prioritization, of course, and um, from our perspective, validation is kind of where CTEM really does start to matter. How did focusing on what was actually exploitable changed the way that your team worked or prioritized work? Whereas before, what we often see is that people are chasing down long lists of vulnerabilities. How did that make a change for you?
Mhm. It's a very good question because exactly like having all the vulnerabilities be like without prioritization, it's easy just to, okay, let's take everything, let's report it, and let the people do the fixing. But the time is limited, and time is money. So you want the people to focus on the right things. So having this information really helps us to, okay, first, let's define what are our priorities that we want people to work on first, so we can then decide, okay, let's mark this ticket as critical, as high. This can be low. This is like nice to have, but okay, we have more like things with higher priority at the moment. With this approach, you see that the improvement is delivered faster. That's the most important thing. Like the things that matter, you can mark them as like high priority, and then they are also done with high priority and resolved. Without it, like if you have everything is high priority, then it's hard to know, okay, what's really fixed. And also for the people that, for the like admins solving the tickets, it's hard to know what to actually do. And then like they are not happy that they don't know where to focus. You are not happy because it's not the right things are not fixed. So this is the main thing. So this whole communication is much streamlined, and it's easy for everyone to know, okay, this I'm expecting that someone will do, and again on the other side that he knows, okay, this is expected from me.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, we hear that quite often that like if everything is critical, then nothing is critical. So it
Exactly.
just becomes noise. And yeah, prioritization is really key. Okay. Um, well, moving on to kind of a later phase of it, mobilization, as we know, from our customers, can often be the hardest step of putting this framework in place. Um, because I think, as you said earlier, knowing what to fix doesn't always mean getting it fixed. Was there something that helped you get particularly aligned with IT and move faster in remediation?
Uh, Definitely, that was as I described the
Mm.
mobilization phase.
Yeah,
The key part for us was the integration with ServiceNow to actually have everything automatically reported. That was from like our operations point of view. And then the second thing was that the whole organization is focusing on cybersecurity and it's promoting that, okay, you need to fix the issues that you are actually having in the tool. So it's not just us like creating the tickets, but also the whole organization just focuses, okay, this is the tool where you should receive the vulnerabilities. Please take a look at them. So it's again streamlined and easy for application owners to know, okay, I don't need to look to 10 different tools. Here I need to look, and here I have the priority. That's
yeah,
this combination was the key for us.
yeah. That sounds good. I like the way you describe about making it easier for people, which is the key. But okay, fine. Okay, then one last question, and this I guess is on behalf of any teams who might not be as far on as you are. Looking back, what were the early signals that let you know that your CTEM program was working, and is there any advice you would give um, teams trying to keep momentum up in terms maybe of getting executive support with that? What really let you know it was happening for you?
So the first like moment we realized it's really working was with the improvement actions that really brought improvement in security by default, and we started to see less issues, and then that was then easy to show to management, to organization that, okay, the things that we are doing actually really brings us value, it brings us improvement. It saves time, and it's then easy also to communicate like, okay, this saves money, of course. So this is the main key. The action sometimes takes a long time, and it's hard to finish because it's not just like changing, I don't know, one configuration. It's sometimes really changing the process and how people work. But once it's done, it then shows, okay, we see less amount of this type of issues because we did this, and that's the main uh, value that can be like easily also presented and showcased to the management.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, delighted that it's all working so well for you. We've worked together for a couple of years now, so I obviously know a little bit more about it. But um, that's fantastic. Filip, thank you so much for sharing everything with us today. I really appreciate the time you've taken. It was a really practical and candid view into how you're actually using CTEM for inside Siemens Healthineers. I think for anyone on the webinar today, it's really valuable to have that kind of transparency to see maybe some challenges you've had, but where the wins have been as well. So we're kind of I think we're ready to wrap up now. Thank you, Filip. Thank you to everyone who joined today. Thanks for spending some time with us. We will share this recording and we have some follow-up resources as well. If there are any questions that anyone has as a result of the session today, please get in contact with us. You can do that through, I think, responding to the webinar links that will come out to you. If not, if you're an existing customer of CyCognito, please contact your customer success manager. If you're not, we'll provide other ways for you to contact us as well. But for now, thank you once again to Filip, and I'd like to say thank you to everyone for joining us and have a great rest of your day.